Hello and welcome to another episode of MacStories Unwind. I'm John Voorhees and I've got Federico Fetici with me. Hi, Federico.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I had a good weekend. I had a nice, relaxing weekend. We got away for a day on a day trip, watched some TV. Just kind of relaxing a little bit.
Yeah, me too. We went out for pizza on Friday night with some friends,
Okay.
and it was excellent. And then Saturday morning, it was just Sylvia and me, and I was like, I don't really want to cook lunch. It's just like, do you want to go out for lunch? Even though we went out last night, it's like, yes, please. And so we
It
walked.
sounds like the conversations we have.
Yes. And so we went to
lot.
this nearby seafood restaurant,
Oh.
excellent restaurant that we've been at this point, like, I don't know, 10 times since we
Yeah.
discovered it 3 months ago. When you become a regular at a
Oh,
place.
yeah.
Yeah, a nice feeling when they know you and they're like, oh, it's you
Yep.
again. That's very,
Yep,
very nice.
yep.
Very nice. So anyway, we're like, we ate pizza last night. I was like, I don't really want to go for pasta
Yeah.
today. I just want to have some seafood. And Silvia was like, yeah, me too. I don't want to have pasta. They make really good gnocchi, but we're like,
Okay.
let's just have some seafood because we had carbs last night.
Right.
And so the waiter comes over and we're like, hey, do you have any anything that you can roast in the oven with some potatoes? And it was like, yeah, I can get you two. I believe in English you call them two sea breams.
Okay.
They're like regular fish. They're like regular fish, orata in Italiano. Okay, so like, yeah, how much is it? And it's like, yeah, no, it's 600 grams each. It's like, it's not big. You will need two of them, if you're eating two people, just that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we'll get two, one each. John, we ate 1.2 kilograms of fish. And they brought this huge tray of roasted potatoes with olives and cherry tomatoes.
Oh,
and
that sounds
we
good.
we were exploding.
I bet.
We were like, Sylvia was like, I told you that two fish was too much. We were only supposed to get one. I was like, but the waiter told me. And she was like, yeah, but the waiter obviously told you to get two because you're going to pay more. Spoiler, I paid a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was so good. And last night we didn't eat because we were still
I was going to
stuffed
say,
up.
did you skip dinner? Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, that was the same for us. We went on Saturday to Greenville, South Carolina. But we're still in the process of kind of learning the South and learning the towns that are nearby. It's a couple hours away from us. And we had been wanting to go to like a fall festival. And we went to Greenville, though. We didn't really know if there was anything going on in Greenville. Turns out they were having their fall festival, and it was just stretched for blocks and blocks and blocks with vendors and all kinds of food and drink. And it turns out Greenville, I didn't know. I don't know much about Greenville. It's like 375,000 people, pretty good sized town. So lots of restaurants and bars and a nice walkway along the water with waterfalls, just a really nice place to stroll around for an afternoon. So that's what we did. We walked around,
Nice.
saw all the booths and went and had a nice lunch and then drove back. And we were so full, we just watched TV for the evening, which is my pick for this week.
Okay. But you have another question before we get to that.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you, this is a tech question. If you had a robot, robot vacuums have been around forever now. And I have a little bit of a story about a robot vacuum. But if you could pick another household chore besides vacuuming your floor that you could get a robot to do in your house, what would it be?
Okay. So I know the answer. It's not like, fortunately, we have two dogs. We're very busy. We have a person that helps us with the regular cleaning every week. But I have two things that I got to do myself that I absolutely will replace myself with a robot in that case. The first one is putting the dishes from the dishwasher into the appropriate racks in the kitchen and the trays.
Okay,
I
that's
dislike
pretty high on my list too.
just emptying the dishwasher again. I really dislike it.
Yeah.
The second is I want to have a robot gardener that takes care of my plants for me. Most likely I'm going to have to call somebody and pay somebody because a robot gardener doesn't exist. I just really Look, it used to be relaxing as an activity for me, but now we
Yeah,
have
to
too many
stand out there
plants.
with your with your hose or your watering can or whatever
We
you're
have an
doing.
irrigation system, but you still gotta, inspect the plants because maybe there's
Sure,
some bugs or some parasites. They're not supposed to
trim
be
them a little
there.
bit.
Trim a little bit, and each plant is different. And then you gotta make a schedule. Okay, this plant needs trimming in October, and this other one needs trimming in February.
Right, right, right.
I think I'm just gonna pay somebody to do it for me because I'm not good at it and I don't want to do it. So
How often would you need to have somebody come to do that? Every couple of weeks or once a month or what do you
once a
think?
month, once a
Yeah,
month or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it. I get it. Well, you know how I solved that problem is that I
Mm.
bought a condo and there's like a service that just, we hardly have any yard. And the service just comes and mows the lawn and trims the bushes. And I don't even have to hire the service because it's all through the
That
condo
makes sense.
association. So I kind of like that after years of mowing my lawn and shoveling snow. All right. So emptying the dishwasher was pretty high on my list as I thought about this. But for me, I think the chore I would replace is doing laundry. Everything from taking the dirty laundry, getting into
Mm.
the washing machine,
Yeah, that's a good one.
remembering to switch it to the dryer, then
Yeah.
taking it out and folding it, and then very much like the dishwasher, putting everything where it belongs and, dresser drawers or shelves or whatever. Yeah, I would love to have the laundry automated. I think I have the laundry going upstairs right now as we speak. Uh, so
Hmm.
yeah, that's what I would like to do. I was thinking about this a little bit because I have an old Roomba that I've had for, boy, I don't even know now. It's probably approaching 8 to 10 years, somewhere in there. And it's okay. It's never been great. It's not one that has like a station that sucks up the dirt. It just is in the unit itself, and I have to empty it pretty regularly as a result. And it's never done a great job.
Mm.
And so I had pretty much given up on the idea of Roombas and robot vacuums because a real like a Dyson vacuum cleaner does such a better job. It lets you get under the table better and all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, I've always been curious about where robot vacuums have gone in terms of technology. And a company called Narwhal, who makes them, just sent me one to
Mm.
test. So I've been testing it, and you know what? It does a really good job. And the technology has come a long way in the last 8 years or whatever it's been since I bought a Roomba. And it does both vacuuming and mopping. And since our all of our floors are hardwood, we have rugs, but the mopping part is really nice to have, and
Mm.
I've been really impressed with it. The only thing is that I live on 3 floors, and I'm not going to buy 3 robot vacuum
Yeah.
mops,
No.
and so I can move it around, but it only can do, at least when it comes to mopping. Vacuum is different; it could do a whole floor vacuuming, but when it comes to mopping, it has to clean itself pretty frequently. So
Mm.
it can do only small areas. And I tried it on our 3rd floor. It's like, nope, not doing this because it was like 8 trips up and down the stairs to go grab it, bring it back to its base, let it clean itself, bring it back upstairs, bring it downstairs, back and forth and back and forth. But it overall pretty happy with it. And I'll be writing about it on MacStories sometime in the
Okay.
near future.
Okay. All right. So I kind of have a pick for
Yeah.
Unwind.
Okay.
Kind of in the sense that we're still watching. We don't really like it, but I want to see it through because now I'm on the hook for the story.
What?
So we've been watching this TV show called The Residents on Netflix.
Oh, I don't know this one.
It's a mystery comedy drama, like a murder mystery inside a fictional White House. Where
Oh, actually, I
yeah,
do. Jennifer watched this, and I didn't.
yeah. So starring Uzo Aduba as Cordelia Cup, this consultant detective who
Yeah.
gets called in because the chief usher at the White House gets murdered during a state dinner between the U.S. government and the Australia Prime Minister and Secretary.
Uh huh.
Started off as a really good idea, but we're 4 episodes in. I fell asleep last night. It's very slow and too interview focused. Like initially
Yeah.
I appreciated that the story was told non-linearly, right?
Right.
It gets told in real time during the action back, months prior at the White House, but also during these um, Senate hearings in the US, where there's a committee that gets tasked with these hearings for understanding what happened with the investigation of the murder of the chief usher at the White House, A.B.
Okay.
Winter, played by an excellent, as always, Giancarlo Esposito. Um, but it's too much of those interviews. There's the interviews
Yeah.
like the hearings, and there's the interviews between Cordelia Cup and all of the suspects.
Yeah.
And then she goes on these tangents about birding because she's really into birds. And so initially it's cool where like she's drawing these parallels between different species of birds
And
and
the
how they
suspects
hunt,
and
and the
people and
suspects and people,
yeah.
like the behavior of certain types of bird and certain types of people, but it overstays its welcome. Like this whole birding analogy, to the point where episode 4 starts with like 25 minutes about birding. And it was like, look, I get it, but you could
Yeah.
have made that point in 5 minutes,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get the sense that like it's a now the problem is that I really want to see how it ends because I want to know who did it. And I don't want to see that I'm like hate watching it at this point, but I fell asleep last night. So yeah, there's that. It kind of it's it alternates these engaging moments with like these very slow moments where like, okay, here we go, another 20 minutes of interviews. We're
Yeah.
like, is it a TV show or is it a fake podcast at some point?
I don't know if Jennifer finished that. It's funny that you mentioned the interviews because the little bit that I caught of it over time, that's the one thing I remember is walking into the room and there's always some detective talking to somebody about this murder. And it was like,
No,
they're still doing it.
and they employ over and over again, it overstays its welcome, this technique of like they're talking about something. So they're talking about like, where were you between 9 and 10 p.m? And the person is like, I was in the, I don't know, I was in the green room.
Right.
And it's like, okay, why were you there? And the person is like, but to understand why I was there, we have to go back like to a detail. Like they do this over and over when they're talking about something, and the character says, but to understand this, we have to go back to
Right.
that. And it's like, okay, here we go. There's like, it's a show of like a parenthesis inside of another parenthesis inside of another parenthesis.
Right.
And it's cute the first 3 times, but after you do it 20 times, it's a little too much.
All right. Well, interesting. I'm going to ask Jennifer what she thought of that.
Yeah.
So my pick, Federico, is Task on HBO Max. This is
I've seen the ads for this.
Yeah, so this is a show that it's a limited series, only 7 episodes. It's by the creator of Mayor of Easttown, which is a show that I can see the parallels and between the two different shows. Very gritty crime type of show. I started watching the Mayor of Easton and didn't follow it through, but Task I've really enjoyed. It's Mark Ruffalo plays a grieving FBI agent. He's lost his wife, and there's a backstory to what happened to his wife. And he has been off of work for a period of time after his wife's passing, and he's brought back in to head up a task force to investigate a trio of thieves who have been breaking into biker gang houses where they're doing drug deals and stealing their money. And it's one of those situations where they don't know who these 3 people are who are stealing from the biker gangs. The biker gangs are really dangerous. They are on the verge of like a inter-biker gang war because they think one thinks the other is stealing from them. So there's a real need to find out what's going on and who these people are and to diffuse the situation. And so Mark Ruffalo is the FBI agent. He's got a task force of 3 other pretty inexperienced cops from other departments of like, this is all takes place in Philadelphia and kind of the rural area around it. They're from different aspects of law enforcement brought in to help him. And then Tom Pelfrey is the main character on the thieves side. He and two of his buddies have been stealing from these biker gangs. And so the show kind of goes back and forth between the Mark Ruffalo's life and the drama surrounding his family and what's going on with him personally, and the same, but from the perspective of Tom Pelfrey's character, who is living in kind of a really hard knock working class life, just getting by as a garbage collector and trying to raise his brother's daughter and his own kids in a house that's in the kind of rural part of Pennsylvania. And it can be very bleak and gritty at times, but it's a very good mystery and crime drama overall. And I kind of appreciate that it's just a limited series. It's only kind of, we've watched 3 out of the 7 episodes, have really enjoyed it. And they're about an hour long each. So if you're looking for something that's very self-contained and the kind of thing that you can watch in a week or two without any trouble, it's a great option.
Okay. All right.
All right, Federico, that's it for another episode of MacStories Unwind. It's been good to talk to you. We can, of course, be
Same.
found over at MacStories.net. And of course, we're also on social media where Federico is at Viticci. It's VITICCI. And I'm at John Voorhees. JOHNVOORHWS. Talk to you next week, Federico.
Ciao, John.